Hello guys and welcome to volokinproject, and that's another episode of phone stories where we're gonna have a look at that rare beast over here, the Siemens U15, released back in October 2003, guys. That was Siemens' second UMTS phone. UMTS, as we called the 3G networks back in the day when they were released, and I think Europe was pretty much the only continent which had a proper 3G with all the frequencies back in the day. So it's very weird that in the majority of the markets, well, around the world, this phone was released as the Motorola A835 pretty much, and currently it can be found on eBay for like 20 to 30 pounds and no one really cares. However, Siemens, they were well, selling phones like hotcakes back in the day. They were making record profits, but for whatever reason they used Motorola's platform to build this phone. And by build this phone I mean just pretty much slightly rebrand it and change the look of it a little bit, and pretty much that's it. It's still running the Motorola Linux based OS, and yeah, essentially that's the Motorola phone. However, it is much more beautiful and appealing than the Motorola phone itself, and nowadays this phone is pretty much impossible to find, guys. It is a very rare device itself. And before we go into the specifications of this particular device, let's have a look at the design itself, guys. So the buttons are very nice, as you can see over here. Have a look closely to the microphone positioning. It's a little bit weird, but I can imagine if you have a big phone like that, that kind of makes sense, because that was still a big phone back in the day. Bigger phones were not exactly very desirable back in the day. The smaller the better. That's why Nokia and Siemens themselves had quite a few smaller devices. However, it was needed for this phone to be bigger to accommodate the 3G modems and everything, as well as the dual camera, guys. Now it's a very interesting design, as you can see over here, guys. From both directions you are looking at a VGA camera at the front and at the back as well, with 3 times digital zoom. Can you imagine? That was big back in the day, guys. The speaker is hidden behind this grill over here, and on the left hand side we have the microphone jack covered by this rubber piece over here. We have this button, which I'm really not sure what it does. I'm about to test in a minute. At the top we have the infrared port, usually used for transferring contacts to another devices or a PC. Interestingly, this phone has a Bluetooth as well, a cutting edge technology back in the day. The mesh over here is made of metal and it's really nice, guys. And what else? On the left hand side we have the volume rockers. At the bottom we have the typical Motorola port that they've used for quite a few devices, guys. And let's have a look under the battery compartment. What can we find over there? If I'm not wrong, the battery itself is something like 800 milliamp hours, something like that, which was definitely not enough considering this phone's raw power and 3G consumption, but nevertheless it is what it is, guys. Let's take this battery out. Now the Motorola equivalent battery is absolutely the same, but it says Motorola instead of Siemens, and this is the battery number in case you are wondering. Slim lithium ion polymer battery, definitely a modern battery to its standard. And let's have a look under the hood, guys. What do we have over here? We have some sort of information as well about the serial numbers, and made in Germany. The good old days when Siemens were making phones made in Germany. And interestingly, that is the SIM card slot, guys. This little flap pops out. It's very difficult to get out without a pin, and you put the SIM inside here, which was quite peculiar. And now let's power this baby on and see what we're dealing with. Now again, in terms of specifications, guys, we had 64 megabytes of storage, which was pretty much excellent to the standards of the past. And also 176 by 220 resolution of the screen, 60 5,000 colors, guys, which is pretty much top-notch technology. And I'm not sure about the screen size, but it looks over 2 inches, maybe 2.5 inches, something like that, which was very healthy back in the day. And as you can see by the sounds this phone makes, this is a definitely Motorola firmware, guys. But let's have a very quick look at what is happening. As you can see, the backlight of the buttons is pretty nice actually. So let's have a look at, guys. We have another button over here, which is most probably for the internet. Let me have a look what happens. Browser setup. Okay, so you're getting to the browser with that button. With that button over here, dialed calls, a quick shortcut to the dials. These buttons over here. Okay, so you got the camera straight away. And check this out, guys. The quality of this camera, phenomenal. VGA, baby. And yeah, pressing the button up, what do we have? Well, again, the camera, which doesn't make sense to press, both buttons and activate the camera, but maybe this is one button only. But yeah, in terms of buttons, very, very nice to click, guys. It's very unfortunate that the central button over here doesn't register downwards movement. As you can see, this is an issue with the main board itself rather than the joystick. Well, the main board of the joystick, because that was a complex device considering it's not exactly a smartphone. However, the Motorola software from back in the day were, offering some, let's say, smartphone features on a Linux-based device. Motorola continued for years to develop this platform, but nevertheless, guys, it was a good alternative to the Symbian and Windows devices, which was more user-friendly. At the end of the day, let's have a look at what else do we have. Games and apps. Okay, Java Power, that was good. That was good that it was supporting Java snowboarding, World Mate Light Anno 1503. Let's have a look at that game. What is this game about, guys? What is happening over here? Let's have a quick look. Career. Okay, I'm gonna press continue. Maybe. Okay. To be honest with you, I really don't have the time for that. So let's have a quick look at what else do we have. Organizer, games and apps, internet, records. Okay, multimedia. Now, one feature that differentiated this phone from others was the MP3 playback, as well as, the video capabilities of this phone as well, guys. That was different. And if you go to the settings, you can see that there's the typical, Motorola menu screen over here. I'm gonna bring the screen a little bit closer, and as I said, I can't really click downwards. I can go only up. So let's have a look at what do we have here. Phone status, my telephone numbers, active line, battery meter. Okay, battery meter, what is that? Right, so the battery is at 4 out of 6, very handy. Other information, let's have a look. Flex version. Okay, you definitely have to know your flex version. Technology, browser ready, language list, software, technology. Right, dual mode UMTS. Check this out. Dual mode, they were referring that it's a GSM plus UMTS device. No matter where you go in the world, you're gonna have reception, stuff like that. They were really trying to monetize, on that premise back in the day. So yeah, 62.7 megabytes of storage. Oh my god, that was great, guys. That was definitely great back in the day. By the way, if you're interested about the ringtones of this phone, check out my TikTok channel, where I'm going to post a video of the ringtones, quite a few interesting ringtones. But pretty much that is it, guys. I can't really say anything else because the information is pretty much non-existent online about this device. But overall, I'm quite happy that it's a part of my collection. Very, very rare device itself, a little bit on the big and the bulky side, but because again of the 3G capabilities, that was necessary. But I definitely love the design and preferred it over the Motorola counterpart. And it's kind of weird that essentially the same shape, the same hardware, but just looking a little bit differently and having a different branding actually makes the phone looks so much better. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know in the comment section below if you ever had this phone, what is your experience with it, and do you enjoy this kind of old school phone stories videos, because that's definitely for a very small niche group and not for the masses. However, if you are mobile collector and a fan of the older devices like me, hit the subscribe button and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and adios.